Welcome back to the Coaches Show. We are in week 2, game 2 for the Dumas Demons. This is the head coach show with Coach Aaron Dunnam. Coach Dunnam, welcome to the broadcast.
Hey, thank you, Zane. Appreciate you having me.
All right. Yep, couldn't do it without you. Dumas Demons get a big win last week over Caprock, 51-0, to open up the 2025 season. Opening home game. Great atmosphere here at Demon Stadium.
It was. Obviously, you want to come out and look good week 1. Super proud of the way that we did look. Usually a lot of different things. Now, we've got things we need to work on still.
Sure.
But a really, really good way to start. 51 points on the board, 0 on the defensive side, and so excited. Kids were really excited to come out at home for our first game and play some good football.
Well, taking a look at it stat-wise, you guys jump out 35-0 at halftime. You tack on another 16 points there in the second half. You get everybody, I think, that was probably eligible to play got to play.
We did.
Which is good. And you guys dominated stat-wise as well. You first downs, 16 first downs, 5 of those from the pass, 11 of those from the rush, which means you guys were able to do some things on the ground that you wanted to do. You rushed the ball 40 times on the night for 225 yards rushing. Colton was efficient in the passing game. There were no turnovers, no fumbles by the Demons, no interceptions. You did win the takeover category +3 with 3 interceptions.
Yes, sir.
And you did force a fumble, just weren't able to fall back on it. And so you got to feel good with the way that your offense played as a whole, able to move the ball. I don't think you punted the ball until the second half. And then also with the way that your offense took care of the ball, not turning the ball over and giving them any opportunities, but also your defense taking the ball away and giving your offense three more chances.
Sure. No, I really liked what we did on offense. I do. We want to come out and run the football, of which we did very, very effectively. A lot of credit to our offensive line. I thought they did an outstanding job. A group that we were expecting high things from, so we expected that. I thought our running backs did a really, really good job running the football. And then you talk about Colton. I thought Colton did an outstanding job just managing the game. And you can tell that's happening with his experience and he's grown up. Did a great job keeping his eyes down the field, stayed active. Some of that rushing yardage comes from him and his ability to scramble and make plays with his feet as well. Just you can tell he just has something about him that recognizes pressure off the edge, steps up in the pocket, was able to escape, keep his eyes down the field. He threw a really, really good pass to Christian Gonzalez down the field off of a scramble where Christian hurdled the guy in for a touchdown. So that was really, really good to see. So super proud of our offense. Thought we did exactly what we needed to do. And then, again, another big play too by Blake Robinson down the field. And I think we've seen that in every one of our scrimmages, and we saw it in week 1. So we definitely have the ability to do that at any time.
When you talk about a good rushing attack, I think most people think, well, you do that if you have good running backs, which I feel like we do.
We do.
And we have athleticism, even with Colton in the backfield. And I was impressed by those guys. We talked about this at the quarterback club. ZJ had a long run of 23. Colton had a long run of 25. Angel had a long run of 30. And George, who came in the second half and had 8 carries, he had a long run of 10. So you have those guys making those plays, but you can't do that unless your line is blocking.
Without a doubt, and I think you talked even a little bit earlier, just the ability for us to get all of our eligible players into the football game. I was really impressed with that. Late in the game, a lot of times when you bring kids in, maybe that haven't got the reps that some of the starters have, you really fall off. We didn't. We were able to continue to move the football and get first downs. But George Murray back at running back, a position that he probably hadn't been playing. But I was really proud of the guys that stepped in and their ability to continue to manage our offense and move the football productively.
I know I heard you say this to your team earlier. I think it was after one of the scrimmages, talking about being ready for when you're going to get your opportunity, being ready for when you get your chance. And I thought that Friday night epitomized that, of backup guys getting ready, but they're not being that letdown of when those guys came in.
And I think that's a pride deal. I really do. I think that's some kids maybe, trusting and listening. Because it's not always easy. If you're not a guy that's not starting every rep, and you're a guy that maybe has worked really hard and you want to start and you're not, that's not easy.
Sure.
It's not easy, to listen and say, hey, always be ready. But I think we've got a group of kids right now that do listen, that do understand that this is a team, and do understand that they're one play away from having to be the starter. And so that was really neat to see, because that's exactly what things that we talk about are actually being put into action on the football field. So really neat.
We've talked about some of those offensive guys. Let's talk about some defensive guys who I felt like had good games. The three guys that came up with turnovers, Race Thornburg, LD Balbuena, and Tate Dunnam, your son.
Sure.
Talk about the elation of being able to celebrate with those guys as they turn the ball over.
Really fun, and I celebrated with every single one of them. But obviously, my son being one of them, it's a really special moment. And that was his first varsity start and his first varsity interception. So it was a really neat deal. But every one of them super exciting to me. I mean, that's been a focus that we've had defensively, is that we want to create turnovers, not just have things happen. And we did that. We created them in the with our interceptions, and then we had one forced fumble that was a really good play. We just couldn't get on the football. And so that was really excited to see. I think our defense played really well. Anytime you can hold them to 0 points, that's a great night. But we definitely got things we got to work on too. I think what I really did like as well, you don't ever want to give big plays up, but we had them hemmed up for about a 3-yard loss there of where our cutback sort of over pursued. They reverse field, and I think Tate made a really good open field tackle. But just our ability when things are going to happen that we don't like. This is a game of football. I mean, that other team worked really hard as well. Yep. What we did is we were able to line back up and play good defense and get off the field. Something that we didn't do great last year. If we made a mistake in the run game, it cost us 6 points last year. Yeah. Right now, it's not. We made a play. Defense line back up, and that's a trust deal. Our kids really believe and trust in what we're doing right now. They trust in their teammates, and they know that we'll regroup and get things fixed. And so that was really neat to see.
I feel like a couple of your linebackers had pretty good games. Shooter Kuhn led the team in tackles, but also you had a new guy who's kind of the quarterback of the defense in Kelton Dill, getting everybody lined up in the right positions when they needed to be.
They did. This is it's a gap sound defense. Our D line and many times maybe even our outside linebackers are designed to fit within gaps to control the line of scrimmage and let those guys run and make plays, as well as our safeties. In a 3-4 defense, safeties are very active in the run game. But I thought we did a great job. Kelton played really well. He is the quarterback of our defense. He lines us up, gets us lined up every single down, and him and Shooter are really playing well together. They're fitting within our defensive scheme and able to make plays, and so we were really excited with the way that they played. And that was that was Kelton's first start as well. He was another. You'll hear us talk about a lot of these sophomores. We started 6 of them on Friday night, and I thought every one of them played really well and really didn't look like sophomores. So that was good to see.
It's going to be fun to watch because from this point on, they're only going to get better.
Mm-hmm, without a doubt.
One more guy that I thought showed great poise was Christian Saldana. We're going to talk about this in just a second, but we had a little delay at the end of the game. Had to come back and finish the last 2 minutes, and on that, really the biggest play of all of that, came out and kicked a field goal, driving rain, and Christian Saldana came out and just nailed it.
Sure, we've been sitting in the locker room too for a while, and so that was neat to see. A lot of our special teams, we didn't get as many reps. We did get a lot of reps at our kickoff. That's Christian is our kicker, and so we thought that unit did a really good job. Christian's leg is pretty strong, and he's able to kick it into the end zone. But him coming back out, off of that delay, we came right back out, no stretching, nothing, lined up. We talked to the locker room, hey, be ready, this is what we're going to do, and he was ready, and he proved it. He came out and put it right down the middle. I think, 31, 37-yard field goal, something like that. And so we were excited about him. He was a freshman kid that played for us last year. So I say we started six sophomores. I think we started 7. That wasn't another one that I was counting. So did a really good job as well. I'm super excited with the way they performed on special teams.
Yeah, so let's talk about the delay a little bit. I know it wasn't a serious part of the game, and we don't have to talk about the specifics of all of that. But what would your team do in a time like that, in a serious point in the game, if we had some type of a lightning delay where the team had to come back in?
I think you got to do the best job that you can to try to keep kids focused. As we come back in, we don't know how it is. I mean, with our UIL rules, it's every 30 minutes with every strike, and so I don't know. I mean, I've been through games where it's midnight, and you're still sitting in the locker room.
Yeah.
But we do have some different things, that we maybe did not have 5 years ago. We've got our sideline film that we're being able to work on in the box, and we've got our iPads, and so we would definitely come into the locker room. We'd meet as a staff, get a plan with our staff while our kids, just got sit down in the locker room, got something to drink.
Sure.
And then we'd start meeting with our kids. We'd break up into offense and defensive meetings, break into individual position meetings, and we'd start looking at the things, that we had through our iPads and the video that we have, and just try to do our best to keep the kids occupied and their minds focused as we return back to the field.
So it basically, for you guys, be like an extra halftime.
It would be. I mean, we would definitely use the time to get ready for the football game. We wouldn't come in here and have a celebration and everybody sit back and we start pulling our phones out. I mean, we'd definitely be meeting and preparing for when we got back out on the field.
Sure. Well, able to get through the delay, went back out. We basically just started the clock. It did stop momentarily, but we got it going again.
We did.
And finished the game. So the Demons were able to tack on 3 extra points there in that couple extra minutes that we came out there. Coach, familiar opponent again tonight, an old district opponent. It's a team that we played, I think, the last few years. There's a little break in there where we didn't play them, but basically have played them almost every year for the last 25 years or so in the Borger Bulldogs. It's a team that's in their 3rd season under Dane Hamrick as their head coach. He came from Tascosa. It's a team that's looking to make the playoffs for the 3rd straight season. What are you looking for out of tonight's opponent, the Borger Bulldogs?
Well, as we always go back and look at the previous year's video when we're game planning and looking to start getting ready for our game plan this season. I watched that, and what we saw last year, I don't know if many people remember, but it was 14-14 at halftime. I think again we won 38, 35, something around in there to 14, but a team that came out fighting. They did. They came out and really got after us a little bit on defense, and we didn't play great early, but I expect to see the same thing.
Sure.
Any time that a coach has been there a little bit, he's started to establish his culture and the way that he wants things to happen, and I think Coach Hamrick has done that. And so we expect to see a Borger football team come and give us all they got. I think it's their season opener, so they're at home in front of their home crowd, excited and really excited to play us, especially with with how they were able to start that game last year and stay in the game early. I think we'll get the exact same football team again this year.
So on the defensive side of the ball, for Dumas, what do you think is going to be key for the Demons they face the Borger offense?
I think, like you'll hear me talk about a lot, I think we've got to try to make them one-dimensional. I do. We've got to force them. We've got to be really sound in the run game, be able to stuff the run game and force them to throw the football. They're multiple. They've even jumped into a little bit. I don't know, maybe his connection a little bit with Tascosa, but they've even jumped into a different style of offense from time to time. So we got to be aware of that. We got to be ready for that. I think we've got to continue to try to create some turnovers, try to create some momentum, get the ball back to our offense as much as we can, and then just be sound when they motion, when they really maybe start working to some of their trick plays and different things like that. We got to be sound and understand where we're supposed to be in the secondary, and just play good sound defense.
So when you play a team like Borger that could be multiple on offense, does it get you ready for future opponents like Plainview, for instance,
Sure.
that might come out with different things on their first drive to try and see what's going to stick or work, or Bushland, or
It does. I mean, we'll build off of every game plan that we have. We started our game plans, for this team this last week.
Sure.
But we'll, we even look back a couple of years, and just build build game plans off of, we're never going to come out. I mean, we're a 3-4 defense. Man, that's who we are. We're never going to come out all of a sudden run a 4-2-5 or do something crazy and all of a sudden we're going to be in a 3-3 stack. We believe in what we do, but we are. I mean, there are different ways that we have to line up to different offensive schemes and different techniques that we use, and we'll just continue to build those game plans throughout the season and be able to refer back to those in certain games. And so our kids are really just putting a memory in their minds, and they're just building databases and building knowledge and terminology and different things, and we can really just, hey, you remember the Borger game? I mean, maybe 3 weeks from now, you remember this?
Yeah.
That's what we're looking at right here, and this is what we're going to do, and so the kids just jump right to it.
I like it. Offensive side of the ball, what do you think is going to be key for the Demons to move the ball and score against the Bulldog defense?
I think number one, for us to be able to move the football, we're going to have to protect the football. Something we did really well in week 1 that I was really proud of. We had no turnovers. We created 3 on the defensive side, so we're +3 right now. We've got to stay there. We've got to continue to take care of the football, whether that be our running backs taking care of when they're running the football, or our quarterback just making good decisions, which I've seen us do already better than we started off the first 2 games last year. I do think as well, I mean, this is just who we are. We're going to have to run the football and run it effectively. I think when we do that, we can control the game. Anytime we can run the football effectively and move it up and down the field, we can control the game and control what goes on. And so that's our plan offensively.
Looking forward to it. First road trip of the year, shortest road trip of the year. Coach, looking forward to it. So we'll be getting you ready for the game. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Second part of the Coach's Show. Coach, I want you to kind of tell the audience what a game week looks like for the Dumas Demon football program. And let's start as soon as the game's over on Friday night.
Okay, I'll go through all of it. So we come in right after the game's over. Also, we get the kids out of the locker room. I have a staff meeting. We always meet as a staff and talk about the game before we leave.
Sure.
And then our process really starts. It starts right away. We don't have any magical fairy that comes in and does laundry for us, and so I mean that's stuff that people don't think about. I mean it starts right away. We start taking care of getting our laundry washed because we're starting the next day with the kids. We've got a full junior high staff that's up here working as well. Our junior high staff is getting the game film that we just had, is getting it broke down, getting it input, getting all the data into the computer system that we need so we can obviously make the trade with our next opponent the next day, and so we as a staff can start watching film and grade film and get ready. And so we get laundry started, we get our junior high staff in here working. Sometimes our junior high staff might be up here till 3 o'clock in the morning on a Friday night getting all that stuff input for us for the next day. We come in as a staff the next morning on Saturday, usually pretty early. Sometimes earlier not, but by about 7:30 the whole full staff is here. What we're doing is we're watching Friday night's game, we're breaking it down, we meet offensively and defensively, and we start grading that. We grade every player, every position. So we have a sheet for our kids when they show up. Kids are to be here at 9 o'clock in the morning. That's kids that need treatment are here at 9 o'clock so they can get treatment and get if we had any nicks or any injuries to get them ready for the next week. And then kids are here at 10 o'clock. As soon as kids come at 10 o'clock, we have a full team meeting. We'll go over, I'll get up there and go over a full, just a full rundown of the game and what I thought and where we're at and where we need to go. And then each coordinator gets up. So Coach Waddell will get up and talk with the offense. Coach Phillips will get up and talk with the defense, and then Coach Anthrath will get up and talk special teams. So we'll go through every bit of that and what we thought, and then we split up. We split up as a offensively and defensively, and we start watching the film with the players. We watch film from probably about 10:30 till 11:30, about an hour that we'll study the film with our kids and just go through what we did and what we didn't do. And what we got to do to fix it. And then at that point, half of the staff will really start, we put that game to bed. We're done. And we really start focusing on our next opponent And so we start looking at all of our trade video that we have. We start getting that into a computer system. We put all of that data into a computer system while half of our other staff takes our kids, and we do what we call film and flush out. So we're going to go to the weight room, we're going to lift. We lift on Monday, we lift on Tuesday, we lift on Wednesday, we take off Thursday, we lift Friday on game day, and then we come back and lift Saturday. So our football team will lift 5 days a week during the season. And so we get that lift, and then we take them out and we run. We get the lactic acid out of our body so we can prepare and get ready for the next week. And that's what the weekend looks like. And then so here we are on a Saturday. We work until 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. This is what we just call our data day. And so we're just really getting all the video broke down into the computer system. And once we have that, thinking about game plan, but really not installing a full game plan. I don't think we think real well because we're pretty tired. I mean,
Sure.
some of us stayed up really, really late. Some of us got up here really early. And so at about 2 or 3, it's time to shut it down, or we're actually doing the wrong thing. So
Sure.
let our staff go home, and then Sunday we start again. All the staff, let my staff go to church. We start with a staff meeting at 1:15 on Sunday. I start much earlier than that. Sunday's probably my longest day.
Yeah.
I'm up here 5 a.m. sometimes 4:30. It just depends on what I need to get done. But I've got to prepare for my staff. They show up at 1:15. I've got to be ready at 1:15 with all the plans and all the paperwork and where JV's playing, where varsity's playing. And so we have a game plan sheet at 1:15 that we go over. So we have a full staff meeting at 1:15, just talk about, hey, who's out of class, when are we getting out on Thursday, who's leaving, where are we going, freshman team's here, freshman B team's here, JV's here, here's what Monday looks like, Tuesday. We go through every day of the week and just make sure that we're ready to go. When that staff meeting's over, we separate offensively and defensively, and it's game plan day. So we're looking to get a scouting report ready and complete. I really don't have an end time on that, whatever it takes.
Yeah.
You know, if we can get a game plan together and we can get scouting reports printed out and in the coaches and in our players' lockers, and then we have a board where we put all of our information up so our kids can see it and read it, and then we go home Sunday evening when we're done. And then so we come back. What a Monday looks like. Every coach is here at 6 a.m. We have probably about 8 or 9 of us that work out at 5 a.m. And so every coach is in the office at 6 a.m. All kids are showing up at 7 a.m. And Monday we're doing scouting report. So every kid has a scouting report in his office, and so we are in their locker. We go through that scouting report. You know, usually a 10, 13, 15-page scouting report offensively and defensively. So we install that with our kids on Monday morning, and then we're in film and we're in weights while the JV's outside working on them.
And I'll tell you, I got to sit in on this week. That's the first time that I've sat in it ever. Because normally I get the opportunity to come in and talk to the kids each week. And up until this year, I've had a kid here for the last 6 years in the high school in the program. And so I've got out of there because I know they don't want me in there. And so this week I sat in and got to hear the coaches going over the game plan. I was blown away. For one, the attention to detail of things that go into the game plan, but also the focus of the players on the game plan, because there's a lot that's going on in the room as those game plans are kind of going out, because you have assistant coaches, position coaches that are going on and making sure that their position kids are understanding what's being said. That's going on at the same time as the coordinators talking, but the kids are just locked in. And we're talking about week 2 non-district game. You know, I can't imagine, you know, as those games get bigger and bigger and bigger and kind of stack on top of each other of importance as the season goes on, what the focus looks like for those games.
It's a neat process. It really is. And if you're a person that loses focus very easily, like, it's tough. If you sit in our film sessions, each position coach sits with his position group, and obviously the coordinator or me or somebody is running the film, just like our game plans. I mean, somebody is up there talking, but at the same time, around, I mean, coaches are talking under them as we're going through this, and I mean, there is a lot of chatter and there's a lot of conversation, and if you're sitting in our film rooms, I mean, it almost gets chaotic at times, but the kids just train. They learn to hear the voices they need to hear and what they need to hear and what they don't, and it's a pretty neat process. And so that's what Monday looks like. and then we're back after school. Sort of what our plan is. We're 90 minutes on Monday. We're 80 minutes on Tuesday. We're 70 minutes on Wednesday. We're walkthrough on Thursday. And so that's really what after school looks like on every one of those days. We're back here in the morning. Our mornings are used to watch film. We film every practice, and we watch every practice as a staff, and we watch every practice with our kids on a daily basis. And so that gets us, that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday gets us into Thursday with a walkthrough, and then Thursday is sub-varsity games. And so some coaches will be on the road, some will be here. Myself and both coordinators still stay here for every week because obviously we have a walkthrough with our varsity.
Sure.
We have a team meal at 5:30 with the moms, which is a really neat deal on Thursday. And then we have sub-varsity games. We might have, like this week, we're going to have a freshman football game and a JV football game right out here at Demon Stadium. And then we start the process all over. We're up here Friday morning with our boys. Our boys lift on Friday morning. Then we have a breakfast with our varsity that the parents and moms and some team dads cook. And so we do that, and then it's game days. Game days is a long process for me, from seeing our kids in the morning until that thing kicks off at 7. It's a long process, but
Sure.
Sort of how Friday works. Friday has a process as well. Kids are back here at 4:15. If we're at home, we go out and we do a walkthrough, sort of like maybe what you would see. The NFL guys, like they're out there in their own position groups doing their own stuff. Coaches don't mess with them. We let our kids prepare and get ready on their own. We do that, and then we come back in, and there's position meetings all in here in the locker room before our first group goes out at 5:40. And then we're kicking off, and we've got a process in the locker room that we go through for Friday night, or if we're on the road, and then Friday's done and the process starts over again.
I wanted you to go through this because I don't think people understand. Even you may even have a guy that's gone through the program,
Sure.
and well, they get up here at this time or they come home at this time. But to understand like what happens each week, because it's a repeat every week.
Sure.
And early in the season, teams are not going to have shown as much
Sure.
that they're going to show in week 10. And so as you draw out and you get ready and you scout, the information just stacks and stacks and stacks and stacks and stacks. So by the time you're getting in week 8, 9, 10, 11, because we have an open week, I wouldn't say off week, open week, you've got all of this information that you've compiled from these teams. That's just from one season, and you talked about, you guys kind of look back at past seasons, past games, and so those weeks become even longer as the season goes on.
We do. So what we talked about, on our Saturday when we're done with the kids, we start breaking down the data. We will break down every game. I mean, we trade, if this is the 10th game of the season, we will break down every game that we have. Now, I think you got to be careful. You got to understand what data you're going to use and what you're not going to use, but you got to be really careful with that. But we're going to break down every one of them. And so, as we talk on week 1, when we might break down just 2 scrimmages, that information is going through pretty quick. When we have to break down 10 full ball games, and so I say that 2 and 3 o'clock sometimes turns into 4, 5, 6, and so you never know.
Yeah, well, I think it's important for the people watching to know that it's it is a long. It's not just a 40-hour, 45-hour week.
It is not. It is not.
Of what happens. It's a full thing. Well, Coach, I know that you're on the run a lot. You need something quick for lunch. What's the go-to for Coach Dunnam?
Depends on how quick I need it. Like if I need it real quick and I don't have that quick, I sometimes might just not even eat. But if I'm going quick, I think you've got to have 2 categories here. I think, am I going to go the maybe not so healthy quick? Am I going to go the healthy quick? If I'm going the healthy way, probably just stop by Subway right here because it's on the way to the field house from the high school. If I'm going another direction, it might be McDonald's, but that's probably just the quickest one for me because it's closest to the stadium.
That's right. Well, Coach, a lot of big games that are going on this weekend, and we talked about this last week. Non-district is fun because you get fun matchups. Not as many this week of multiple teams playing each other like we had last week that you guys are preparing for. There is one big one that we'll talk about at the end. But let's just kind of run through these. West Plains is playing a neutral site game in Andrews against Clint Horizon. That one on Thursday.
I always think you got to get on the field and make it happen. I mean, you can't do it on the paper, but West Plains is still ranked number 2 after having a really good week 1 win, and I just don't see them having a whole lot of a problem with Clint Horizon. I think I saw Clint score last week from somebody else, and I definitely think West Plains doesn't have a problem here.
Interesting matchup tonight in Dick Bivens Stadium between Paladuro and Caprock.
Very interesting. I want to see how to go. I have no idea.
Yeah.
We scrimmage Paladuro. I know what they have on the field. We played Caprock last week, but so I'm sort of interested to sort of find out where we are.
Sure.
Exactly what happened there. I think this will be a really good game. It's a big time rivalry. It's an inner city, a AISD school versus another one, and so I think it'll be a great game.
Be a big crowd tonight at Dick Bivens Stadium.
It will.
Dalhart travels on the road to play at Perryton. Perryton always tough at home.
They are. They're very, very tough. And Dalhart's a program that's really, really made a push here lately. I think they had a really good football team last year, and they got another one. I think they've got a really big quarterback that causes some problems for some people. And, Josh at Perryton, a lot of familiarity there. But they had Canyon last week, and I thought they put up a pretty dang good fight there at Canyon. So I'm interested. I'm interested to see what this does, and definitely interesting to see how this game goes.
For sure. Maybe the biggest 2A game in the state between two teams that have aspirations of winning state championships. Stratford will travel down to Panhandle and play each other.
I think both of these got the potential to do it too. So, I'm not for sure whichever way this game goes this Friday night is going to hurt either one of them. I mean, I still think that they've got a lot of football in front of them, but it's a really, really big football game, small school football here in the Texas Panhandle, and both two teams that I think can beat anybody in the state.
I think quite a few of these games of teams that we're going to talk about, they're plumb line games where you kind of see, all right, here's where we're at. Here's where we're at. And for them, in their classification, it's going to show them, okay, here's where we're at.
Without a doubt.
Next one is one of those for your brother. He'll play against San Angelo Central. They're going to travel down, playing San Angelo Stadium. I think got to be kind of a great game for them to go down and play as San Angelo Central. Are they 6A?
They are.
So a good measuring stick for Chad and his team.
It will be. San Angelo Central's a team. When I was out at Abilene Cooper, we were in the little Southwest Conference, and that was a really good with the Odessa schools, the Midland schools, and the Abilene schools, and San Angelo was in there as well. I think it's a great test for Emerald High, my brother. I mean, going on the road, it's a pretty big drive. And so this will be a huge test for them. A 6A football program, and Emerald High's got a lot of steam, a lot of momentum going right now. Had a really good first week win over Odessa High, and so interesting to see what they'll do.
Next one, got a district team, a future opponent of ours in a couple weeks in Plainview. Pampa traveling to Plainview.
This is one of those that we use, a little bit of measuring stick, see where they're at. Pampa lost in a really close one last week, 28-27, but I think they did a lot of really good things. Plainview up on Randall at halftime, 21-17, and ended up losing the football game. But I know what both of those programs have, and we will see both of those later in the season. So interested to see how this goes, and looking forward to watching this one.
Eyes of Dumas will be upon you.
They will.
Next one, Estacado going to travel up, short road trip up to Hereford.
This will be, Hereford had a close one last week with Lubbock High. Estacado played, I think Jim Ned. But again, a very, very good program. And Jim Ned's not maybe 3-4 years off from winning the state championship, so really good program there. But this will be interesting. Estacado has a lot of talent. Hereford, obviously, pretty good football team as well. So I'm anxious to see what the score looks like here. Another
one I know that we'll be watching will be Canyon traveling down to Andrews. This one could be a great game as well. Canyon had a really good game this past week. Andrews is looking pretty good too. I think that this has potential to be one of the best games on the night. I
agree, and it has been. The last 3 or 4 years, however long this game's gone, I think it's actually, I want to say like 10 years that they've maybe been playing here recently. But it always turns into a good game. It's always maybe a 1 touchdown game, 2 touchdown game. So I think this will be a good one as well. I mean, as Canyon goes on the road to Andrews, I'm expecting some good things here and anxious to see how this one ends up.
Yeah, and too. Monahan's going to travel up to Randall. Randall traveled down there last year, so Monahan's will have to make the return trip. This one will be in Canyon on Friday night.
A good Randall football team that I expected. I did. They played a tough one against Plainview last week. Obviously came back out the second half and really went to work and separated that game a little bit. Monahan's is always a tough physical football team. Play that West Texas style football. So I'm anxious. I think this will be a good one. I think Monahan's might have lost the game 28-6 last week. I'm not sure they played maybe shallow water.
Yeah, maybe so.
I think this will be a really good football game, and expecting some great things from both of these programs.
Slugfest.
It will. I think so.
And this next game may be the biggest game in the Panhandle, or at least most eyes on it. Two programs that have been extremely successful over the past few years, and they have never disappointed in this game. It's always fun to watch. It's going to have fireworks. This time it's in Canadian, Bushland at Canadian.
And I don't think this one will change either. I mean, I've seen both of them on video just because we've seen them through some of our trades and different things. And I mean, it's going to be exactly what it is every single year. I mean, both really good programs. Both have great coaching staffs. Both have really good kids that play for these programs. And so it's going to be another battle like we see every single year. And then we'll be able to watch this one on video because we've got Canadian
next week.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and so Canadian will have at least back-to-back home games. Demons will be traveling up. We play your shortest road game, at least scheduled right now, and then the longest road game scheduled back-to-back. We'll be at Wildcat Stadium next weekend.
I like that because if Canadian's going to be our longest road trip, we've taken much longer ones.
Yes.
We've been to Odessa and different things for regular season games. So the hour and a half trip to Canadian's not going to be bad for our longest trip.
Yeah, I want to challenge you if you're watching this, whether you're watching it before the game starts in Borger on this Friday night, or you're watching it sometime during the week. If you're thinking, okay, I want to find somewhere where we can go and travel and watch the Demons, go to this game because you're going to see, for one, get to go to a place where there is a ton of football tradition. Talking about multiple state championships, multiple times playing in the state championship. You'll get to go and see that where those guys play at home. But also, I think it's going to be, it is. It's going to be a great game. And so travel and watch these Demons, whether you're going to go watch them play this Friday night in Borger, and you're watching this to kind of get ready for the game, or wanting to go see them on the road, man, make that trip out to Canadian.
Absolutely.
Because it's going to be great.
Really neat, small school stadium with a lot of history and a lot of history. So really fun atmosphere.
Yeah, it will be. It'll be awesome. So thanks for joining us again this week. Again, Demons getting ready to take on the Borger Bulldogs at Bulldogs Stadium in Borger. We'll be there, have all the live action for you. Thanks for joining us.